Hi, my name is Heather Deacon, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Florida. Today I'm going to be discussing what EMDR therapy is and how it can be effective for those struggling with trauma and PTSD. Before we get into EMDR therapy, I think it's important that we discuss what trauma is. Trauma is any event or experience in your life that has had a continued or long-standing impact. These experiences can range from experiencing emotional, physical, or sexual abuse, serving in the war, being bullied growing up, or experiencing unresolved grief and loss issues. These are just few of many experiences that can be traumatic for a person. Going through these experiences can pose many challenges for an individual, including experiencing nightmares, experiencing flashbacks, which is when you feel like you're reliving a traumatic experience. You may feel disconnected from other people and even yourself, disconnected from your emotions, your body, and the reality of what's right in front of you. When it comes to our brain, it can be physically and chemically altered after going through a traumatic experience. Since our brain directs how we feel, how we think, how we behave, this can be very overwhelming for a person. And I want you to think of our brain as a filing cabinet. And when we go through normal day-to-day experiences, our brain is able to take that information and store it away appropriately, or in the right folder. And the reason for this is so that down the road, if we need to access that information, it's easily accessible. When we go through something traumatic, our brain goes into fight or flight mode, and the information gets stored with all the heightened emotions, thoughts, and body sensations. In terms of the analogy, the information gets stored in the wrong folder. Since the information is not properly stored, we can very easily get triggered, resulting in our brain and body being in a continued overwhelmed position and constantly in fight or flight mode. In overcoming these symptoms and challenges, EMDR therapy has been found to be effective for those struggling with trauma and PTSD. EMDR therapy stands for eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing. This is a treatment technique that facilitates the reprocessing of a traumatic memory. And although that this treatment technique was initially developed for those struggling with trauma and PTSD, it has also been found effective for those struggling with anxiety, depression, panic attacks, addictions, and much more. Unlike other approaches, EMDR therapy focuses on one specific memory at a time. This allows us to desensitize or decrease the disturbance level of a memory, and then we are able to go in and reprocess that memory. Reprocessing allows us to adapt healthier and more rational beliefs about a memory. It allows us to alter the way the memory is stored in the brain, and as a result, can allow us to put that information into a right folder in your filing cabinet. EMDR therapy is facilitated 1 to 2 times per week and can range in terms of how many sessions are needed. This all depends on your personal needs and your trauma history. There are various phases of EMDR, including preparation work, so providing you with tools and resources that you can use to manage any emotions that come up for you during this process. We then move through the assessment phase, which is developing a personalized treatment plan depending on what your needs are and what your trauma history is. Then we're able to move through the desensitization and reprocessing phase. Following an EMDR session, the events are still remembered. However, the painful thoughts, emotions, and sensations that were once associated with the memory are no longer relived. Through this process, you will be able to shift your negative beliefs about a memory into more positive or rational thoughts. For example, if your initial negative thought was, "This is my fault," we are able to shift that belief into a more rational belief, such as, "I didn't deserve this." These shifts in belief have been found effective in decreasing PTSD symptoms for an individual. If you're in South Florida and have experienced any of these symptoms, please feel free to reach out to see if EMDR therapy is a right fit for you. But most importantly, remember that you are not alone. Things can and will get better for you.